Have you ever just watched an animal and seen a little flash of something familiar? A spark of recognition that feels almost human? Well, today, we're going to hold up the entire animal kingdom as a mirror to ourselves. We're diving into the surprisingly complex and frankly amazing world of their social intelligence.
This quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We tend to think of ourselves as totally separate, on another level. But what if that complex web of relationships that defines us, what if it has echoes all throughout the natural world? Let's go see exactly where those lines start to get blurry. Okay, so first up, a huge one. A massive building block of any culture, ours included, is social learning. You know, the ability to just watch someone else do something and then do it yourself. It saves a ton of time, a ton of energy, and it avoids a whole lot of painful mistakes. It's how traditions are born and skills get passed down in our world and, as we're about to see, in theirs too.
Seems simple enough, right? You see it, you do it. But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a subtle but super important difference in how we copy versus how some of our closest relatives do. And there was this one brilliant experiment that just perfectly gets to the core of that difference. So before we get to the experiment, you got to understand these two ideas. On one side, you've got imitation. That means copying every single step of what you see, whether it's useful or not. On the other side, there's emulation, and that is all about the final result. You see the goal and you figure out your own way to get there. Imitate the process or emulate the result. Got it? Good. And this test just lays it all out perfectly. Researchers showed both human toddlers and chimps how to get a piece of candy out of a tube. But the demonstration included a bunch of totally pointless steps. And the results? The children, they copied everything. Every tap, every twist, even the useless stuff. They imitated the adult. And the chimps? Nope. They saw the candy, ignored all the silly extra moves, and just got the candy out their own way. They emulated the result. It's fascinating. The kids were focused on the social act of copying, but the chimps, they just wanted the prize. All right, so we've seen a bit about how they learn, but what about how they feel? I mean, do animals share any of our more complex social emotions, like, a sense of justice? Do they get mad when they feel like they've been wronged? Just take a look at this little guy's face. It's like he's asking, "Are you kidding me?" And you know what? Scientists asked a very similar question in a now famous experiment with capuchin monkeys. And what they found was a powerful and very, very familiar emotional reaction. The setup here was just genius in its simplicity. You've got two capuchins side by side. They both learn to trade a little token for a treat. And at first, they both get a slice of cucumber. Everyone's happy, it's a fair trade. But then, the researchers change the deal. One monkey trades its token and gets a juicy, sweet grape, a total upgrade. The other monkey watches this happen, trades its token, and gets the same old boring cucumber. While the reaction was immediate, and it was explosive. The monkey who got the cucumber took one look at it, threw it right back at the researcher, and started shaking its cage. It knew, absolutely, that it had gotten a raw deal. So what does this tell us? That feeling of, hey, wait a minute, that's not fair. That powerful sense of indignation you get when you see someone else get a better reward for the exact same work? Yeah, that's not something we invented. It's a feeling that runs deep, and it's a feeling we clearly share. Okay, so animals can learn from each other, and they can feel injustice. But can they go even further? Can they actively teach the next generation? Or, to get even more complex, can they strategically deceive one another? Let's find out. Welcome, everyone, to what researchers have charmingly called the meerkat catering school. See, meerkats love to eat scorpions, but scorpions are, well, they're dangerous. So how do you teach your kids the very specialized skill of eating your lunch without getting stung? Well, you enroll them in a very hands-on curriculum. Now, for this to be considered actual teaching, it has to meet a pretty high scientific bar. The teacher has to actually change what it's doing, and it has to be at a cost to itself, like maybe it loses time or even its meal, all for the purpose of helping a student learn. And meerkats, they pass this test with flying colors. And this is what's so incredible. The adult meerkats actually tailor the lessons to the student's age. For the absolute beginners, the tiny pups, they bring back a dead scorpion. Lesson 1. Here's what food looks like, and it's safe. As the pups get older, the teachers bring them a live scorpion, but get this, they bite the stinger off first. It's like practice with training wheels. And finally, for the advanced students, they bring a live, fully loaded scorpion so they can take their final exam. It's a progressive, structured, and totally deliberate form of teaching. It's amazing. Teaching is a cooperative act, right? It's about helping others. But what about the other side of that social coin? What about understanding what someone else is thinking well enough to manipulate them? Can animals actually tell a strategic lie? Okay, you have to hear about this experiment. A chimp worked with two different people. One was the generous researcher who would share a hidden piece of fruit if the chimp pointed to it. The other was the selfish researcher who would just take the fruit for himself. So what did the chimp do when it had to deal with the selfish guy? It learned to lie. It would look right at him and knowingly point to the empty bowl. It was a calculated trick to mislead the human so the chimp could get the fruit for itself. It understood the researcher's selfish intentions and used deception to beat him at his own game. Just wow. So let's pull all this together. We've seen some truly remarkable things, right? When we hold up this animal mirror and take a good long look, what is it really showing us about them? And maybe, more importantly, about ourselves.
We have moved way, way beyond simple instinct here. We've seen animals that can feel a sense of unfairness, animals that run actual schools for their kids, animals that learn by watching others, and even animals that can tell a calculated lie to trick a person.
So, if the very roots of our culture, our sense of justice, our ability to teach, and even our capacity to deceive are all present out there in the animal kingdom, it kind of makes you wonder about that hard line we've always drawn between us and them, doesn't it? Maybe that mirror is just showing us that we're a lot more alike than we ever thought.